In a newest case of let them fight, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is now feuding with two of her former allies. So recently, the Daily Beast dropped a report about Ali Alexander, who was the organizer of one of the organizers of the Stop the Steal rally, January 6th. So that story basically alleged that Alexander, for years, had solicited explicit photos from underage teen boys and would, dangle job prospects or conservative clout in front of them. Now, Alexander had admitted to struggling with an attraction to men, but has denied knowingly soliciting photos from underage boys. Okay, so first off, being attracted to men, not a problem. Soliciting photos from underage boys or children in general, that is the problem. So now, the scandal also had drew in white nationalist and Trump dinner guest Nick Fuentes. Fuentes is being accused of trying to help Alexander silence some of the teens who were teens at the time that were solicited, again, by offering them jobs. So now Marjorie Greene was a friend of both Alexander and Fuentes. But now she has decided to lash out. So here's what she posted on Twitter. This is disgusting textbook predation of underage boys, and Nick Fuentes was in on it. FBI should investigate. Now look, hey, she ain't wrong. Guess what? Worst person in the world. Made a good point. Maybe not the worst person in the world, but you get what I mean. But wait, hold on here. Of course, I'm going to criticize Marjorie Greene as well, because there's no good people in the story. They're all horrible. Look, Greene, I've reported on this a lot, along with other, members of the far right. Weren't they like, defund the FBI? Defund the FBI, defund the DOJ, defund all of them. Get rid of the police. Oh, by the way, you should go after this guy. FBI, are you listening? Wait a minute. I just thought that's weird. Weird. Like, I don't know, when they're going after your political enemies, who, by the way, in this case, would be completely justified to go after if this all happens to be true. And Alexander was, again, soliciting photos from underage boys. But, okay. Suddenly now, though, Marjorie Greene, fan of the FBI. Interesting. But as I mentioned before, they're all terrible. And so now there are degrees in how terrible they are. To be fair, Fuentes, of course, neo-Nazi, racist, anti-Semitic, misogynistic, all those different things. I don't know if there are any allegations against him about doing pedo stuff, though. So I don't know. I guess that puts him a step above Alexander. Again, if this turns out to be true, again, Alexander allegedly creeped in on underage teen boys, dangling careers in conservative politics in front of them. That's straight up exploitation of a minor. And Greene, well, we're going to get into Greene. So Greene, I've noticed something here. So she talks about, I got to protect the children. I got to protect them from the ideology of, the woke and the exploitation. I got to protect the children against the exploitation. Oh, okay. So you call out Ali Alexander. Okay. But what about all the other, I don't know, white cisgendered Republican men who also keep getting caught grooming or, again, trading explicit images of children online? I mean, again, this is the first time she's ever called out anyone that I know of on the right for allegedly exploiting underage persons. And by the way, I don't know, maybe I'm reading into this too much. Doesn't seem like a coincidence that Ali Alexander happens to be a brown-skinned guy, whose real name, by the way, is Ali Akbar, who says he struggles with being attracted to men. Struggles. Oh, you know what? I see it now. Okay? It fits her narrative. This fits her narrative perfectly. Her narrative, remember, is it's the LGBTQ group that is grooming, which it's not. The vast majority of people that exploit, groom, and harm children are heterosexual cisgender men. Look, and I'll give you some examples here of the right wing being full of these kinds of people who creep on kids. Here's some names. Dennis Hastert, former Republican Speaker of the House. I mean, yeah, and you had a lot of high-profile Republicans defending him. You also had former Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore. You also had another South Dakota Republican chairman in Jones County named Rocky Hayes. Also had a stash of explicit images of children. Former GOP staffer and Republican National Committee aide Ruben Verastegui, who admitted to being part of a ring that traded these, again, images that involved babies. He was sentenced to more than 12 and a half years in prison. Tennessee Republican State Representative David Byrd has also been accused of misconduct by three women who were underage at the time, according to the Washington Post. That's when he was a coach. There's hundreds and hundreds of more incidents that we could talk about of the right wing, of right-wing Republicans, conservative, cisgendered men who are Republicans grooming or just straight up collecting vast amounts of explicit imagery of children. Straight up pedo stuff. Okay? That's what's going on here. Now, is Marjorie Greene speaking up about this? Has she said anything about it? About those people? No. No, not at all. Not at all. Just talking about this. And again, it's because she has personal beef against Nick Fuentes. Look, she spoke at his white nationalist conference and claims, oh, I had no idea that he was a Holocaust denier. Oh, no, not at all. What are you talking about? No. I didn't know that. And by the way, I went to a Holocaust museum and turns out it was bad. Oh, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, I think she knew. I think she knew exactly what it was. But I think that what she's trying to do now is sort of rehabilitate her image so she can rise up in the ranks of the Republican Party, amass more power for herself. And this, by the way, just helps her culture war narrative against the LGBTQ community. And that's why I think she's going so hard against Ali Alexander while staying silent on all the other white, cisgendered, heterosexual men that have done the same thing or worse in her party. Look, if she wants to stop the exploitation of children, she might want to start with going after all the rest of her own movement.